Fox Factory Vehicles delivers the thrill. Their turnkey, hassle-free custom trucks and SUVs are built to dominate any terrain, all while retaining their factory warranty. Do you want more power? Go supercharged. Build and price your dream ride today at foxfactoryvehicles.com. Fox Factory Vehicles, where performance meets precision. Listen, it's hot outside.
Yeah, I heard it was really hot yesterday in Quincy.
So I get done racing and I am soaked and I'm dressed, but I don't put my shirt on.
Well, you're partway dressed.
I guess so.
Anybody got a picture of that, Charlie?
Here we go.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Look at the
get
white
you some
guy.
of that, right?
Okay. So here's the story behind that. See, that's my truck and trailer behind me. So I leave with my shirt off. I'm trying to dry off, and I'm going to turn my transponder in and get my check. And I get out, and I think I'm going to do this real quick. There's six competitors, and they all start making fun of me. So this guy takes a picture of me. So there's this.
All right, Charlie, that's enough.
Yeah. There's this Instagram account where these redneck skinny guys, they're like, come get you some. So I posed.
You look tough. You ran fourth last night?
I ran fourth last night, and they could have easily canceled, Kenny. They could have easily.
When did it rain up there?
It rained Saturday night and Sunday morning. And when I pulled through the pit area, I had to put it in 4-wheel drive, the truck. So, yeah. But I know what you did, but I don't want to hear you say it. What did you do?
Well, you ran Saturday night too, right? Yep. You ran
sixth. I faded. Yep.
We run fourth Thursday night at Lincoln, and we won one Saturday night at I-55. Felt decent. Had 40 cars, so it was fun.
Okay, look, Charlie, he's downplaying it. That's Kenny Schrader's style, and I don't want him to change. First of all, Thursday night in Lincoln, I watch his feature, and he's running fourth or whatever he's running, and a good friend of ours, Joe Ortberg, is right in front of Schrader. Well, Kenny gets a little more spirit. Kenny gets him awful forward to the checkered flag.
Yeah, spirit. I wanted to pass his ass. Yeah, his spirit. So anyway, there was some good racing.
You did really good.
Thank you.
And then Saturday night, I watched your feature for, like you said, all those cars. And, man, you did not make a mistake. And the guy behind you, Trev Jacoby, he wanted you to make a mistake, and you never made one.
You can't start behind Trev, and you can't make a mistake if you're in front of him, because he's going to capitalize instantly. So fun to race with, though. Good guy.
So I want you to tell everybody what I saw. Your whole family was there.
Oh, that was a first. Daughter and son, Dorothy and Sheldon, came in along with son-in-law Grant. Came in for the weekend. Flew in Thursday night. And grandson Ford was with them. He's 7 now. And that was his first race. And we got to win. So he got to go down there. So he was pretty excited. Actually, it was Grant's first race that he's ever seen us run. Son-in-law, it was Grant's first race. Other than 19-something one time when he was a kid at Charlotte. But, we didn't know him. Didn't even know us. But it was fun. Just always fun having him around. Friday we didn't race because we went to Jeff LeBob's house because he was out of town. He told us go grind up the pool, so we went over there and used the pool and had a good time.
So I got to share something with you. it's an older story, but I went through that phase where I didn't know how long I should race, and you helped me figure it out. But I told my wife Kim, I said I'm thinking about quitting racing, and I've told you this before, but I want everybody to know this. This happened so many years ago. Kim looked me right in the face, and she said, "You will not quit racing until your grandbabies see you race." So Ford went to Victor Lane with you. He's got pictures now.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
What?
He's going to have pictures for a long ass time because I ain't.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just you just it's like when you and I were in NASCAR. I wanted to be part of all the new tracks. Okay, we're going here, we're going there, and you do get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm not going to run Chicago street course because I'm not racing anymore. But you inspire me, Kenny.
Okay, so I always watch the races if I'm home. I mean, if I'm out, I'm out. I don't see them. Try to listen to them, whatever. A Chicago track looks so much fun because it's parts of it are real wide. We used to run Sonoma and Riverside, and you probably never ran Riverside.
No, I was there.
But Sonoma and Watkins Glen, they're narrow little tracks. They're pretty narrow. But that street course looks so wide. It's like when I'd watch them at Indianapolis. That track looked wide. It looked like neater road course racing. To me, it did.
And boy, we are loaded up on that. Before we get to it, let me just say this. Now you got me thinking. 1984. I'm a crew chief, right? And you and Ernie come to my apartment down there. But 1984, I went to Riverside as a crew chief for Joe Ruttman. But you're right. I never did race there, but I'm happy I got to be part of that before they tore it down. Okay, quickly, we got this segment we do, and it's like, we started off. It's called What Did We Do? Well, Kenny Schrader told you what he did, and I ran Wednesday night Benton, run fourth. I ran with Kenny Schrader at Lincoln on Thursday. We both ran Peevely, and then I finished it off with Quincy. So we both are racing fools. We raced. So okay,
we do it different.
How?
You're working your ass off.
I am.
You're
I'm
working
tired.
your ass off. You ran 4 nights with yourself and
Roy.
Roy went. He go all 4 nights?
No, he didn't go last. Nobody will go on Sundays with me because it's 2.5 hours away, basically.
I'll go the next Sunday you're racing and I'm not racing. I'll go with you.
That'd be awesome.
I'll help you.
The pit area would freak out.
Yeah, I'll help you. I'm not going to do any of the hard stuff, but I'll help you. I'll drive you up and back.
You know what it'd be like? That'd be like, it's funny. I always told Dale Jr., I said, Junior, you ought to just disguise yourself once and just, we'll roll in. Me and Schrader roll in and you just be in the truck with us. And he always says he's going to do it, but.
What'd you do, Charles?
Oh, a lot of pool time, fireworks, a lot of drinking, actually. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a lot of partying. So, but I took yesterday off. I usually don't drink like that, but there were so many activities for 4th of July. A lot of fun with the kids.
Okay, before we start the show today, and we got a good show, I've got to discuss something. When we came back from Lincoln on Thursday night, Roy was next to me. Roy fell asleep, and I got my phone, and I was bored, and I thought, well, I'm going to listen to Herm Schrader. So I listened to it, and I got, 30 minutes into it, and I was embarrassed. I had to shut it off. I talked so much on this show, and I repeat myself. I was so embarrassed that I shut it off, and then it bothered me so bad that when I saw Kenny, I beelined to you, and I said, hey, I need help. I said, Kenny, I'm horrible on Herm Schrader.
No, you're not. They didn't hire you to not talk. They hired you to be you.
But I said, but then you said to me what?
I said, well, sometimes you just say something too many times. You repeat it. We all do that. It's just what it is. We just need to talk more.
Right. So I want to say that I recognize it. I think when you hear yourself, you're like, that is not me, but it is.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is you.
I'm awful. So,
No, stop that.
No,
but
not at all.
I'm gonna be better. And I think the reason I repeat myself so much, I want to go back. I wrote this down. 30 years ago, my wife told me, my wife Kim, 30 years ago, I drive the truck and trailer by myself, so I have thinking time. Or as little Billy Moyer Jr. says, windshield time.
Right.
30 years ago, my wife Kim told me, honey, you repeat yourself. I told her it's because you don't hear me. I have this fear as the third child. What is wrong with me? Why do I drive this point home? So I just want to say it.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with you though. You need to be yourself.
Okay.
Can I have a theory on this? I have
Yes.
a theory on this. I'm going to blame myself because when you used to do coffee with Kenny's back in the day, you always did them 2 or 3 minutes. Once you started doing them for YouTube, I said, hey, Kenny, we make more money if you get to 8 minutes. So I'm going to blame myself. Maybe in your head, you're always thinking we got to get to 8 minutes. Maybe you're repeating yourself to kind of lengthen it out a little bit.
True. 100% true. But I still do repeat myself when I want to drive a point home.
Okay. Now we're repeating all this.
Okay, everybody. We're not repeating nothing, and I will do better. Okay. Mike Davis said, you guys are the old G's. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear your version from Chicago. So we decided to, talk about NASCAR, and we do got other topics. Let's start out like this. I found MRN radio on 107.5 going to the Quincy race yesterday. So I know that Michael McDowell led 31 of 36 laps and broke. What do you know, Kenny, about the start of the Chicago race?
Very little about the start of the Chicago race because I bought my first thing off Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, that's big news.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, there was a motorcycle that I really thought I needed, and it was close to my shop here, so I figured out how to contact him, a conversation thing, and got a hold of him, and we played. Well, not phone tag, but Facebook Marketplace message tag, whatever. But anyway, I went and got it yesterday. He brought it over.
What brand?
It's a little Honda Valkyrie. I had one years ago, and I always liked them. But it just, it was nice. Good guy.
Kenny Schrader once taught me, everybody. He said, if you want something bad enough,
you need it.
That's it. You must need it.
I needed this bike. So I don't know about the first.
Okay. But here we go. We're going to serve it up on a platter. Shane Van Gisbergen, they call him SVG. He's from New Zealand, and he grew up running those V8 cars. So this is his wheelhouse. This is what he does. He completely, once Michael McDowell falls out, I mean, he completely dominated. And here's what he said on MRN. He said, I thought it was a little sarcastic. He goes, road courses are a holiday for me.
Well, I can see that. I can see that because, but I mean, look at it the other way. He's made big improvements on the road courses or on the oval tracks, but that wasn't his deal. He's got to work, and he's working hard at it. He's got to work to get comfortable and find speed on those ovals. They take him to a road course. He's home. It's a holiday. He's doing exactly what he wants to do, what he grew up doing, what he knows how to do.
Charlie, this reminds me of the designated hitter. It's like, okay, you're going to hit. That's all you're going to do. You don't got to go out in the field. You don't got to play any position. You're just a hitter. So, SVG, he clearly wants to be good on ovals, but when he goes to the road courses, he's expected to win, and he's showing up.
And he's won, what, 4 of the 5 Chicago races, if you include Xfinity. So, I mean, he's not just winning, he's dominating. And now that he's got, I do think it's a fun narrative debate about should a road course specialist get into the playoffs. I think when you win 2 cup races in the same year, and he might win more this year, I think that quiets a lot of people. Like, you don't just win one, he's winning multiple cup races. That's pretty amazing.
You know, they hired him, and it's knowing that he's a ringer on the road course, or, you know, believe he'll be really good. Well, he wins the first race at Chicago. How many road course races we got? 6 or 8, is it? Whatever. But anyway, that's capable of leading those races. I heard him at the lead one time 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, at Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
He had the lead. Now, a lot of people had a lead, but he got there. I mean, he's figuring out this other stuff. Here's a guy, and I know there's some people disagree with it wherever he's in points, and now he's in the playoffs, but I don't care what it is. You go to all them cup races and you win one, and now you win 2. Well, I'm sorry. You're doing good. You know, I mean, you deserve to be there.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story is that, look, when they hired him, when Trackhouse hired him, they knew what they were hiring him for, and he's delivering. So, I mean, that's just it. Okay. There's layers in this race, guys. And, you know, feel free to, you know, say what you think, but let's start like this. Joey Logano and Ross Chastain, they get into it. I mean, it's, you know, when you wreck somebody there, it clogs the whole track up. So Ross Chastain wrecks Joey Logano. So after the race, Joey goes to Ross, and Joey comes kind of walking away, and the media grab Joey Logano. And Joey Logano goes, he admitted to me. He admitted to me that he wrecked me on purpose. He should be fined. What's your thought?
I never heard it. You know, whatever. You know, tempers. You'll have tempers flare, and when they run in tight places, and you know, like I said, the track's real wide in some places, and a lot of places it's narrow. Which we saw a red flag when they kept piling in there and had the track blocked up. So, you know, people get mad. It's no biggie.
Okay. So we got the caution drama. Okay, the race goes on. We've already said, okay, the first 31, we're not repeating, we're just reminding. Michael McDowell leads. Then you got all these wrecks. And now we get to the end of this race and all hell breaks loose. SVG's gone. He's going to win it. They're not even showing him. They're showing everybody else fighting in the back, you know, a football field away. And this Cody Ware blows a brake rotor. And did you see the highlight, Kenny, of Cody Ware wrecking?
You know, all the telemetry now, I read it was 93 mile an hour into the tire wall. Well, into the tire wall is no big deal, except it's, you know, concrete behind it, or whatever it is, solid behind it. It was a hard hit. And I didn't realize, and I read all that this morning, I didn't realize it's 30-something seconds.
Yep.
Till the yellow came out.
Yep.
And in them 30-something seconds, SVG took the white flag, which basically ended the race. If they'd have been quicker on that yellow, we'd have had a restart. And when you say SVG was driving away, he was maintaining. Now, we don't have a clue, only he does, as far as how hard he was running. But little Tyler was on better tires and was closing the gap. Now, he never got around. Tyler caught and did not get around Gibbs. But, you know, it would have been, obviously, a little more wild, and then we'd had more tore up stuff. There's no way we wouldn't have had more tore up stuff if they would have had green, white checker. We'd have had a couple of them till we got to that white flag. But we still had a guy that took a big hit sitting over there for 30 something seconds. So that's, that kind, I'd like to get that explained.
So Jeff Gluck and our Charlie Marlowe and myself, we've got a little bit of a relationship. And so I always go to Jeff Gluck. Is it Jeff Gluck or Matt Weaver? Who's our friend, Charlie?
Well, both. Matt Weaver does some content on our channel for YouTube.
Yeah. So Jeff Gluck says this, Kenny, to your point. He says Cody Ware blew a rotor and absolutely smashed into the tire barrier at full speed. The telemetry thing said 93 mile an hour. Then he radioed, "Need help." NASCAR waited 34.7 seconds to throw the caution after impact. So the argument the fans have here is that if they would have thrown what you just said, if the controversy, Ed Balkovic is a friend of mine, and Eddie's the microbiologist, and he texted me last night. He says, "Herman, will you guys talk about them not throwing the caution?" I said, "Eddie, we'll talk about it." And Kenny, I don't think we could have broke it down any better, but it comes down to those seconds. Like you said, if he, as soon as Cody Ware said, "I need help," the caution should have come out and we'd had a green, white checker again.
Yeah. I mean, and I just, it'd be neat to see what Elton or somebody said. I mean, what the thinking was there. Obviously, we got rain coming. I saw some post-race interviews, I believe, with some umbrellas.
And the top of all the buildings were covered because the fog was big.
So we got rain coming. We got to get SVG to the white. But we can't leave this guy that needs help sitting over there. How they weigh that out? We know we're going to tear the hell out of stuff. We know we're going to tear it up if we have a green, white checker, and there's going to be another green, white checker. There won't just be one at the street or road course. Just like, I mean, we don't know what the thinking was, and no sense trying to guess. Hopefully we'll hear it.
Here's my opinion: they did the right thing because of everything you just said. They did the right thing because on post-race interviews, I heard the media going, "And here comes the rain."
Yeah, so they did the right thing, unless there's a guy sitting there in a wrecked car that needs help.
Yeah. Okay, I think we did our best.
It's a really tough business.
Yeah,
and being up in that tower. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of jobs that I think pretty cool, a lot of fun in this sport. There's nothing fun about being up in that tower.
It's kind of like being the teacher in school. Nobody likes the teacher.
Well, that's not true.
Any decision you make, it's like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to get to the in-season challenge. Our Charlie Marlowe is going to be ready for that.
Hey, one other thing. Okay. SVG doing so good and stuff.
Yep.
We've had guys sweep like the weekends before and stuff. When was the last time someone got both poles and won both races?
I think I heard, was it Kyle Busch? Was it Kyle Busch they said on the broadcast?
Okay.
Let me double check that.
And I know he's had some people go after them sweeps at like Bristol and stuff. We could run all three. But, win the races has been done, but I don't know about the both poles also.
Okay, this segment is going to be about Katherine Legge. First of all, let's do Katherine in two layers. Number one, she made the race and she ran good, but let's go with the qualifying. She goes on the track and she's got to cut a lap because she's got to outrun Corey Heim.
How many cars did they have? 41?
Too many.
41 cars?
So Katherine Legge, this is her jam. This is what she's famous for. She goes out there, qualifies 33rd, out-qualifies some heroes, and sends Corey Heim home. Now, I'm going to give my opinion. I want to hear yours. For everybody that hates her, and she does do horrible on the ovals, and I'm saying that with love. She does wreck. She's not at the speed on the ovals. This is why everybody says, hold on now. What is your thought of her just making the race?
You go there, you got to qualify, and you get it done, and you didn't just qualify 40th, qualified 33rd. More power to her. I mean, she got it done in a crunch situation. I mean, she stepped up and did it. So that's good for her.
I saw something, Charlie, on social media, and I liked it. It said an upset in Cup qualifying. Katherine Legge just ran a 1 minute, 32 second, 3.68 in Cup qualifying. A tenth faster than Corey Heim, who cannot make another lap. That means Legge will race tomorrow, and Heim has failed to qualify in the fourth 23:11 car. I mean, I think that encapsulates it. So, okay. Now, we're staying with Katherine again. Kenny, period. She, and I know people don't, the girls want to be known as a man. They're like, don't point me out. However, they did, and I did like it. They said that Katherine Legge, she finished 19th. She's the first lady since Danica Patrick in 2017 to finish in the top 20. So, what's your thoughts?
More power to her. Good weekend. Hopefully she's going to run Sonoma, because that's a good run. Qualifying for the race ahead of like 7 cars or so. Finishing 19th, top half, great. That's a good run for anybody.
Yeah, and the reason I bring this up, Charlie, is because they've been bad mouthing her so bad. I mean, it was embarrassing. It was, but I knew if she got to where, it's kind of like Rusty said. Brother Rusty said, "Man, I went to Road Atlanta, and Patty Moise was behind me." And Rusty said, "I put my head down. I drove that thing as hard as I could for one full lap." He said, "I looked up and she was still on my ass."
Yeah.
Charlie, this is where you come in.
All right.
Okay. This is fun because there's some head-to-head challenges that were like, this guy shouldn't outrun Chase Elliott, but he did. This is why we're doing it, everybody, because there were some head-to-head challenges like, this guy's got to outrun this guy. And it's like, no way that guy's going to outrun this guy. So where are we at, Charlie?
Okay, we are down to the Elite 8, and it's crazy in terms of the seeding, some of these guys getting through. So Ty Dillon, who was the last seed, the 32nd seed, has advanced. He beat Denny Hamlin week 1. He beat Brad Keselowski in Chicago. So he'll face Alex Bowman. That was also a big deal. Bowman and Bubba Wallace going toe-to-toe because they were in the bracket challenge. They were the 8-9 seed. But you got John Hunter Nemechek versus Eric Jones. You got Ryan Preece versus Tyler Reddick. I think Reddick's interesting because he's a 23 seed. I mean, one of the best drivers in NASCAR, but his seeding in this tournament wasn't good at all. So that's not really an upset, but from a seeding standpoint, it is. And then you got Ty Gibbs and how about Zane Smith still around in the Elite 8. So there's a lot of random names in the Elite 8, especially coming off the massive wreck in Atlanta, which wiped out a third of the field. And then you got a road course. So it's an interesting bracket for sure.
Yeah, but hold on. Kenny, listen to this one. In yesterday's race, John Hunter Nemechek outrun Chase Elliott by 1 spot. That's my point I'm getting to.
Yeah. I don't understand the whole thing. I mean, I understand it. I don't care about it. It's just crapshoot, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, first week changed everything. You know, I mean, the first week of the deal and the big wreck at Atlanta changed everything. But it tells you about our sport. You don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen.
And you know what? I want to give a shout out, and I want to hear what you guys say. Just as soon as you think Zane Smith is not a driver, Michael McDowell is not a driver, John Hunter Nemechek is not a driver, these guys can drive.
Well, it's second ago, Charlie, you said Tyler Reddick, one of the best drivers. Tyler Reddick's a great little driver. I really like him and his family. But, I mean, our sport is more team than driver. And driver is a big part of it. But, I mean, if you take the 20th place driver in points and you stick him in that first place car, the car that's leading points, and you stick him in there for a while, I'm not saying he's going to keep leading points, but he's not going to be 20th. And you take the driver that's leading points and you stick him in that 20th place car, and it might have to go back to 30th now because it's the top 20 have gotten closer. But you stick him back in one of them other cars, he's not going to be all the way back there, but he's not going to be right up front either. It's a combination of everything.
Boy, I agree with that. And for an example, boy, this is a hell of a conversation. I mean, it's not a long one. It's just to your point. Denny Hamlin doesn't even practice. They have issues. Denny Hamlin does not even go on the racetrack, Kenny, at Chicago. He starts dead last. And with, strategy, he finishes fourth.
Yeah. Well, but, that's combination of a real good team and a real good driver and a lot of experience to draw off of.
You and I were lucky enough in our careers to drive some really good cars. And I'll never forget when I got in that Texel Havlin car. I don't know, you're not running exactly where you want to be. You come down pit road, you go out, and like all of a sudden you're in the top 10. Those good teams, man, you gain 3-5 spots every pit stop, and then all of a sudden you're up front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's getting harder and harder, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
What was the quickest pit stop now? Is 8 something?
Oh my God. You don't even got time to drink of water. Yes, it is 8 seconds.
Yeah. 8 seconds.
Charlie, I see your message. I don't want to spoil your thunder. To answer Kenny.
So from earlier, SVG sweeping both Cup and Xfinity from the pole. Second time ever. It was Kyle Busch 2016 at Indy that also did that.
Okay. 2016 at Indy. 2016 at Indy. Would that have been both races at Indy, or would that still have been IRP era? That'd probably been both at Indy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Okay. We just got to talk about this because it's got some wow to it. Daniel Suarez announces that I don't know if he's been fired, but Daniel Suarez announces that he is not going to drive for Trackhouse anymore. What makes this good is that he is so happy. He says, I've known for this for a while. It is a big relief. I feel like they don't listen to me anymore and they don't listen to other crew members. I'm very happy. And I have sponsors. Kenny, when was the last time a driver was so happy to leave a team? I mean,
I don't know. But, that's a Paul Harvey. We'd like to know the rest of the story. But obviously there's a difference of opinion. So, you know, uh, it was good for him for however long he was there. Maybe
Yeah.
he didn't get everything done he went, but he won a couple races and he helped Trackhouse a bunch. There's more to it, which isn't, we don't need to know, and it's no one's business. And I'm sure he'll land someplace, especially having funding that he can bring with him. And he's capable of getting the job done.
Rumor is, I got to be honest, I stole this from Jeff Gordon 30 years ago. Jeff Gordon said, people love youth. And I went, So now this, the thought is that Connor Zilisch is going to drive this car. Wonderful kid. And then I'll take something Mikey Waltrip said. Mikey said, they already know what you're going to do. Talking about myself back in the day. Herman, they already know your talent level. It's not that great. They're looking for somebody else. Do you? What's your thoughts on that? What Mikey said to me 30 years ago. Do they feel like Suarez? This is what they got. Maybe Connor Zilisch is going to be better.
Well, it could be. That's we don't know what they're thinking, but it could be. And there, some of those times you put someone in there and you gotta groom them and get them used to it. But Connor's done a phenomenal job in everything he's driven so far. So, that could be part of it.
That Connor Zilisch, Charlie, I don't know if you realize that he's worldly. Like Max Verstappen from Formula One, he knows Connor, and they got that whole Red Bull deal going on. As Felix Sabates would say, Connor Zilisch is worldly. I've seen some videos of Max Verstappen, giving Connor Zilisch a high five. He's kind of a Red Bull kid. He's very nice, very nice. And so, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there either, Kenny, but that's the talk.
I've always been more county-ish.
Not worldly?
No, county.
County.
Yeah,
yes.
County. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with
surrounding counties.
Who's a hot rod around here? Trev Jacoby. Trev Jacoby's good.
Yeah.
He lives up there in St. Charles. Yes. Felix, he is worldly, Felix Sabates. And he tried to get me to eat sushi one time. And I'm like, what is this? My friend. And then find out, that's a thing, eating raw. Have you ever had sushi?
I'm not a fan. But it wasn't a big thing in Fenton, Missouri in the 70s. I can tell you that.
Tastes like a rubber.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a lot of things Felix taught us. We can't talk about them all, but there's a lot of things Felix taught us. He's awesome.
Charlie, what are we missing out with sushi? You're much younger than us. What's the deal? Is it an art, or is the food really good?
My wife really likes it. It's pretty good. If you get good sushi, it's pretty dang good. Like, it's never something that I order, but when she gets it to the house, it is pretty dang good. I think you got to give it another shot. And maybe I do think that's one of those things where you probably have to go to a little better place, like not get it at the gas station. That's probably not.
Yeah,
not good.
2.5 Men had sushi at the gas station one time. Alan did. It didn't work out too good.
I love 2.5 Men. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, Alan, it was bad. I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say.
I think my kids told me, Dad, you got to learn how to mix it in the right sauces.
Oh, yeah. We had a Federated member, Nathan, in Louisiana. And he's got a beautiful grocery store. Beautiful. Got several of them. And you go in there and you can pick out your steak and they'll cook it for you. And there's a place to eat and everything and pick out your sides and everything. It's got a seafood department grill. We're down there and doing a play day with him. And he brings out all these crawfish.
Oh, no.
Because the season had started. Yeah. And, oh my gosh, they're eating them. I mean, a little bitty, look like a little bitty friggin' lobsters. To me, they do. And, he sell 500-600 pounds of them in a day, the first day. And I'm like, you realize if you'd have used those for bait, how much fish, how much fish you could have caught, something. But it's just, have different taste.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, people in Louisiana, they're crawfish people. And then you're right. Then you got the sushi people and got the fried chicken people. But all right, I'm 10 minutes late. I'm sorry, but listen up, everyone. Welcome to the Fast Lane with Fox Factory Vehicles, delivering the thrill for drivers who demand the best. Our fully custom, turnkey, hassle-free trucks and SUVs are built to dominate any terrain and retain their full factory warranty. Whether you're headed to the track or the trail, these rides are ready, no delays. And they always say, Herman, add your personal experience. And right now, I need another Fox factory vehicle because they're backlogged, and I need to get me one. And that is my experience. I miss my Dodge Ram. I don't have it right now, so that's my experience.
That was a beast.
That was a beast. And all right, do you want to feel the rush, everybody? Kick it into overdrive with our optional supercharged models and unleash the power. You're in the driver's seat. Head to foxfactoryvehicles.com to build and price your next dream ride. Available through partnering dealerships nationwide. Fox Factory Vehicles bring the precision and performance you've been dreaming of. Visit foxfactoryvehicles.com today and take the wheel. I admit the show is much more subdued today because I'm trying to be better.
Well, I don't think it's
good. Show's good today.
Well, that's our opinion. We'll see if anybody watches.
Okay. We've got to talk about this because it is a very hot topic. Ben Kennedy has taught us, Kenny and Charlie, 3 years at the Coliseum, and we were done. And NASCAR's always said 3 years, they've kind of made that statement, 3 years, and then we reevaluate. So 3 years is now up at Chicago. It's up. They had the mayor there, and the mayor said something interesting. He says, now he was probably lying. That's my opinion.
Ooh.
My opinion. The mayor said, we're getting used to NASCAR being here. It's kind of like a tradition. They have a 2-year option, Kenny and Charlie. Does NASCAR go back to Chicago? Street course. I repeated myself.
This is simple for me to comment. I'm not involved, so I'll wait for the schedule to come out and see where we're going. There's a nice track however many miles away. I'm going to guess it's 60 miles away down there in Joliet. It hasn't been run for a while. I don't know the numbers for the viewership for the weekend. I don't know anything about attendance numbers, but that's what tells the story. I was told that the Chicago street race played a huge part in the new NASCAR TV package, because what it did, not because it was Chicago, but what it did was show the networks what they were capable of doing. Much, so much different than, hey, we'll go over here to this track that's been here for 30 years and we'll just run around in circles again. They go in and shut a city down, build a track, run a good race, a lot of entertainment, and have the city going the next day. So it showed that was a big factor in the new TV contract.
Yeah, instead of just saying, "Oh, we can only run these tracks." That's a really good point. And to your point, Jeff Gluck comes out with his poll, and 10,000 people so far. 65% of the people like the Chicago street course, and 35% say no. But boy, that 35%, they're loud, but 65% of the people like
Yeah.
that race.
But the 35%, how many? I mean, I bet I'm just guessing. Then a good percentage of them were going to not like it, no matter what road course it was on, road course or street course. They were oval diehards, and that's what they don't like about it. Remember when years ago we were going to have the little smaller cup cars, little compact cup cars, and we were
Oh,
going to
yeah.
run some street course and stuff.
Yeah.
Kyle Petty said, "Maybe we'll literally be knocking banks over and by stuff, knocking banks over and stuff, by running into them and stuff." But that didn't quite work out.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, how about Denny Hamlin's idea? I always find it funny. It seems like Denny Hamlin has these great ideas while also his team is suing NASCAR. And sometimes NASCAR follows those ideas, like this in-season tournament. He said, why not have a street oval, a stroval? Why not bring an oval to a city? I thought that was a pretty good idea.
It's kind of like you running Saugus. I mean, if you can run Saugus, you can run.
That was a regular racetrack, though.
But it was flat as a pancake.
Yeah, but city streets are all 90s. Of course, Indianapolis is a 90s also. It's 4 90s instead of 2 180s. But there's not that big of 90s. The radius, and you go down here and you make a left. It's not like a sweeping left. I don't know.
Is Denny Hamlin the modern day Jeff Burton? Jeff Burton was our mayor, and he was thought of as the mature NASCAR racer in our day. And now it's like Denny Hamlin does come up with, just when we want to say somebody's not, smart or not good. I mean, Denny does come up with good stuff.
Yeah, don't know where the street oval is going to be, but yeah, Denny's. He probably is, and the mayor is not that's just a name that the competitors bestowed upon Jeff Burton because he thought things out pretty good, and if you had to send someone a NASCAR trailer with a complaint, he was a good person to send to the trailer because he talked to him good. He could
well spoken.
Well spoken, give his side.
Okay, to end this, I don't think NASCAR is going back to Chicago, and here's why. Although it might be a good relationship, I think NASCAR, they just have been explaining to us, that they want to broaden their horizon. And, the rumor has they're going to San Diego and they're going to Philadelphia. I think, just my opinion, because that's what we do on this show, I think that NASCAR does not go back to Chicago and they just go to some other street course.
Well, I just think that the fact that they did it successfully, and if they go someplace else, great. But it just shows what they are capable of doing.
I like it. Yeah. And you said it best. In other words, what city do you want us to race at? Because we can do it. Perfect. Yeah. I dreamed up something a little strange here because I always thought we should have something off topic towards the end of our show. We got our jokes, but this crossed my mind. Is entertainment the way to go now? Because the Savannah Bananas are a fake baseball team and they are literally selling out 70,000 seat stadiums. Kenny, wrestling, these are great athletes. We're not condemning that, but this is unbelievable. Is it entertainment? Is that the way to go now?
It's always been.
Yeah.
It's just everyone's expectations have changed. It used to be that the cars, and I'm going to use oval, the cars running around the oval was enough. But now people want more. But the entertainment, yes, that's part of it. And when you can pack other things in for them to do while they're there, it just makes it better. So I never heard of anything about the banana whatever, and I saw
Savannah Bananas.
saw
Yeah.
a little bit of that stuff on Facebook. But I remember being a kid not knowing anything about basketball and caring anything about it, but I just loved watching the Harlem Globetrotters because they were funny. That was entertainment, man.
Curly.
You could tell they had a ton of skill. They were great, what they were doing, but it was so funny. So yeah, I mean, it's entertainment's always been huge in our sport, but it's just the people require more to be entertained now.
Charlie, when the Harlem Globetrotters were playing, you're talking 17,000 people arena. The Savannah Bananas, 70,000 seat stadiums.
Football stadiums, for sure. Yeah, I agree with Schrader. Growing up, going to the Harlem Globetrotters was awesome. Now I was also a basketball fan. And I feel like with the Savannah Bananas and the Globetrotters, it's really focused on kids, which is great. Now, maybe I'm wrong on this. I can't see a lot of just adults or people who are in their 20s just going to a Savannah Banana game by themselves or, as a group of friends like they would to a NASCAR race or a baseball game. I get that the kids love it. I feel like for adults, though, the Savannah Bananas, it's just a kids thing is what I'm trying to say.
And they add music to it. And it's so funny because when the team starts dancing, the ump starts dancing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny.
Yeah. We could get our pit crews. That won't work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That would NASCAR, or the NASCAR fans would call, if our pit crew started dancing, they would call that a gimmick. Okay. We are here, guys.
Hey, I just thinking about here. You think about what NASCAR did. So we're going to run in the streets of Chicago.
It's unbelievable.
And did it successfully 3 years. If it comes back or not, it's just showing what they're capable of. That's huge.
And I think, and Charlie, maybe you can find this. I think they're using the people that put up the Memphis IndyCar street course. So they got some rhythm with, people doing it. And they cut the time down and because the city said, hey, this has got to be up and down.
Yeah. And then was it last year when they had the torrential rain or 2 years ago?
Oh.
And tires are floating down pit road or whatever. But, they had the drainage figured out. Hey, they screwed us up for a couple hours, but we're going racing. And they did a hell of a job.
Boy, that's another thing right there. I mean, when would we have ever said, look how much NASCAR's changed. We race in the rain, Kenny. You're right.
Yeah. I watched them at Richmond or Loudon. And it was like, oh. You don't want to be too wide there. I mean, anywhere 3 wide's ridiculous. And they're friggin' 4 wide in the rain. I'm like, them tires must be pretty damn good.
Charlie, with that being said, I thought about this, and you're the only one really I can ask this. When we had Mark Martin on Kenny Conversation, it's almost like, we're at 103,000 views on that Mark Martin, where Mark supposedly spoke up for all the old people. I feel like now that they're heard, and I feel like we're making this transition like, Kenny, you just pointed out. I mean, NASCAR is doing things that didn't happen in Grandpa's day, like you said. I mean, we're putting up racetracks. We're racing in the rain. If you would have said that 20 years ago, they'd have said you're crazy. Now, Mark Martin, my point is this, Mark Martin spoke up for all the old people. Now they feel like they've been heard. It's like, now let's move on. What is your thought on that, Charlie?
I think NASCAR's doing a pretty good job of trying to do some new stuff like the Chicago street course in Mexico City, but also an ode to the past with Rockingham, with North Wilkesboro, with Bowman Gray. It's a tough spot to be in. Like Schrader said earlier, with the call at the end of the Chicago Street Course, when you're in the tower with all those things going through your head, NASCAR is not in an easy spot. I do think, I think in the last 2, 3, 4 years, whether it's Ben Kennedy, whether it's somebody else, I think they're doing a pretty dang good job to try to take care of the old fan base and the new fan base. And I feel like I'm pretty critical of NASCAR when it's fair, and I think they're doing their best to try to serve everybody.
Well, I don't agree with everything, but that's okay. I'm not in charge, but I know one thing: I'll back them 100% because I don't want to be in charge. And I know from history that they've made a heck of a lot more right decisions and right steps to move on in one direction than they have not.
And like Darrell Waltrip said, just because we talk about our sport doesn't mean we don't love it. We love it. And it's no different sitting at the bar drinking beer and what do you think of NASCAR?
Yeah.
Okay. Jokes.
All right. Before the jokes, got to tell everybody, of course, about the merch line, all the hats, shirts, hoodies. Visit shop.dirtymomedia.com to check out all of the new stuff. All right, we actually got a lot of jokes from viewers and listeners via social media. So we'll go through them here. We got John Bosch. This was via Instagram. He says, why does everyone in Greece hate waking up at dawn? Why does everyone in Greece hate waking up at dawn? Because dawn is tough on Greece.
Oh, that's really good.
Not bad.
That's good.
Okay, this is from our friend John Bishi, formerly media relations at Worldwide Technology Raceway. He says, this is from X. He says, what did the priest say when he walked through the produce department? What did the priest say when he walked through the produce department? Let us pray. All right. Now, Johnny Brink. Now, you can't blame me for these, okay? These are other people's, all right? Johnny Brink on X had 4 4th of July jokes. So we'll go quick here. Do you know why there's no knock-knock jokes? Why are there no knock-knock jokes in America? Because freedom rings.
Ring the doorbell.
What did the American flag say to the other American flag? Nothing. It just waved. All right. What did the ghost say on the 4th of July? Red, white, and
boo.
Boo. All right. These are from Johnny Brink. Last one. What do ducks like about the 4th of July?
What do the ducks like about? I don't know.
Firecrackers. Okay. Now, I do have one, because I know those were kind of a little corny. No offense, everyone. But I did have one risque one that I had to go back to the internet for, so we can end on this one. What does a push-up bra have in common with a bag of chips? What does a push-up bra have in common with a bag of chips? Anybody? Once you manage to get it open, you realize it's only half full.
Oh, not my wife's. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. What else, gentlemen?
Where are you racing this weekend?
Thank God. I got to say this. The reason I raced so much is because what you and I talked about last week, end of August, I do some stuff for Sunoco. Going to go do a sweet appearance. Oh, listen to this. So like August 23rd is my birthday, but Sunoco asked me to come to Daytona and do a quick little conversation in a suite with one of the drivers. I'm not going to say the driver's name just because in case he backs out, but Yeah, Fred McConnell. So, I figured, okay, let me race while I can, Kenny. Kind of like you, when you try to,
Make a trip and race.
yeah, when you go to work for Federated and like I'm going to race too. So I thought, well, this is kind of like my last hurrah. So I think Friday is Granite. We'll see. And then Saturday, Peevely. What about you?
We're going to go to Moberly Tuesday,
Mm,
and then going to hit possibly Wednesday, don't know where, and Friday, Saturday, and don't know where too. Not around
damn,
here.
that's enough.
But somewhere, but not around here. We're going to go a little ways.
Is that IMCA stuff?
We don't know what we're doing, but we are 100% positive that we don't have a clue what we're going to do.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Anything else? I guess that's it.
Where's Cup?
Sonoma.
Sonoma. I knew that. I sent that earlier.
I accidentally knew it because I read it this morning.
Yeah, 2 road courses in a row.
Ooh. Now everybody's going to complain too much road racing.
SVG could be looking at 3.
Back to back. The only thing that's going to stop him is equipment failure.
Oh,
They
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I did watch yesterday at the end of the race, and it was Jamie McMurray. Said he's going to give. He said yes, SVG. Take SVG. You're good. Take S better than him. A little less advantage at Sonoma because the other guys have been there so many times.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a speed course. Yeah, I agree. Yep, I agree with that 100%.
But
and we
less advantage, still an advantage.
Yeah, because of his braking. Man, can he brake? And did you know when I listened to MRN radio, now this is what they said, whether it's true or not. MRN radio said that he feels like SVG feels like he has an advantage with braking, and he will not allow any cameras because he feels like that's a big deal for him.
So he's pretty smart too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to go see what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah. Damn right.
Okay, everybody. We want to thank our sponsor, Fox Factory Vehicles, for bringing everyone's today's episode of Herm Schrader. We are thankful for their continued partnership with myself and Dirty Mo Media. Fox Factory Vehicles delivers the thrill. Build and price your dream ride today at foxfactoryvehicles.com. Fox Factory Vehicles, where performance meets precision.
Supercharged.
Yes.
.com.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Until the next Herm Schrader show, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
See ya.